Hey everybody, welcome to the Gentleman Scholars Club. In today's video, we're doing a comparison of two affordable tailoring brands, Suitsupply and Spier Mackay. Suitsupply, probably the world's largest tailoring brand, with over 100 shops worldwide, various countries. Spier Mackay, in this David and Goliath battle, with only two storefronts, both located in the Toronto area in Ontario, Canada. Suitsupply, probably well known to a more mainstream audience because of their ads and because of their presence in many cities, whereas Spier Mackay has gotten a lot of positive word of mouth online, on Style Forum, and elsewhere. So for today's comparison, we'll be looking at two fabrics that are quite similar in a similar color. These are both off-white linen sport coats, and these are also off-the-rack, ready-to-wear. Both of these companies or brands offer made-to-order, made-to-measure options. We're not going to be bringing those into the comparison, as that would add too much complexity and make the comparison kind of difficult. So we'll be looking at their ready-to-wear items with minimal tailoring or no tailoring alterations, and you can decide who the winner is or which style you prefer and which fit you prefer. If you want to skip ahead to a direct side-by-side comparison of the two fits and styles, you can go to that point in the video and you can find that location within the description. If you're interested in what I'm wearing otherwise, this is a Magnus and Novus linen shirt in a light blue. It has a one-piece collar. It's pure linen. And as trousers, I'm wearing Berg & Berg, and these are their pleated model. It's in a navy blue hopsack with side adjusters. So let's get started with the comparison. So let's start with Suitsupply. Like many of you, Suitsupply was my gateway into the world of contemporary tailoring. I was in a Hertz rent-a-car in Milan around 2015, standing there waiting to rent a car out, surrounded by a number of Italian men. And I was wearing something like an athletic t-shirt, a pair of jeans, and a pair of fisherman sandals. And the guys around me were much better dressed, and I noticed that immediately. It was sort of an epiphany. It was an eye-opening experience. And from that moment, I decided I would try to dress up more. I will say a little bit of bragging that I think I dress better now than the guys who were around me at that time. But I did begin with Suitsupply, probably because I Googled for something and they were prominent at the time. Spier Mackay, not so much back then. I wasn't aware of them. And so I started out with their Havana cut. And this is a Havana, actually, right from around that time period. It is made in an Italian linen from the Mill Angelico, and it's an off-white color. Their Havana is essentially like this now. I think they may even be a little bit more fitted, but you'll notice perhaps that the Suitsupply fit is slim, and it's kind of tight right here. I do vacillate between a 38 and a 40, depending on the brand. With Suitsupply, if I wear a 38 like this, I do find that it's a bit fitted around here, and the sleeves and the total length of the jacket tend to be short. And that's their brand look, right? If you look at their ads or their online, their website, the web pages, you will see that it's their typical style. The sleeves tend to be almost an inch shorter than the cuff, where usually you see quarter inch to half inch, and as well the total length of their jackets is shorter than you might be expecting to see. This is supposed to be kind of a youthful look that they have, and typical of their Havana cut. Again, you can do made to order, and you can alter things like opening up the waist to make it a little bit less fitted and lengthening the sleeves, but that's the way they recommend you wear their products. If you go into the shop, the salespeople will promote that sort of fitted, slim look. And it's not so much my favorite anymore. I don't think this fits too badly. Still kind of comfortable, but as you can see, there's a bit of pulling here, Xing around the button. And it also does have a higher buttoning point. It tends to be up here. You can see my natural waist is around this point, so the button is up here, waist with high-waisted trousers around there. Havana is a standard two-button make as well. Lapels are kind of ordinary, I guess. I don't know the exact measurement, probably 3 1/4 or something like that. I didn't measure before the video, but sort of average lapels, notch lapels. And the gorge is a bit high, the gorge being where the lapel meets the collar and where the notch occurs. And it's pretty high. It's around right up toward the top of the shoulders. where the shoulders are. Now, it's a natural shoulder, speaking of that, which means there's no padding in it, and it's only partially lined. I think it's a half lined or butterfly lined, where just the upper back is lined as well as the sleeves, I think. Yes, and the sleeves usually are lined. Buttons, kind of a selling point for this jacket. They are kind of a beige, and they look a little bit like wood, kind of like Carrazzo nut or wood. They have a bit of texture to them, and they are unique. They do stand out. And the sleeve buttons are kissing buttons on the Havanas, and they are also functional. So these are what they call surgeon's cuffs, because back in the day when people did surgery in their suits, they would roll up their sleeves, open the buttons of their jackets, roll them up, and perform operations. And so functional buttons are supposed to be a sign of quality. These days, perhaps not so much, because you can get them in fairly low-priced tailoring because of, I guess, the market is available for that. But here's the jacket. The quarters are not too open, not too closed. There's a slight curve here. And again, because the brand wants to cater to the largest possible market, they probably are doing something that's not run-of-the-mill so much, but middle of the road. Again, the 2 buttons, standard size notch lapels, average type quarters. They do have a number of excellent fabrics. If you're interested in different textures and different fabrics, that was a selling point for me when I first encountered them. And this is from the Italian mill Angelico, as I said earlier, and it's in a linen. Italian linens can be trickier than Irish linens because they tend to be lighter weight, and as such they may crumple or rumple more than a heavier linen, and they may be a little bit harder to keep in good shape, though with linens you just want to embrace that sort of look anyway, right, and not worry so much about it. The pocket is a barchetta pocket, meaning that it has a slight curvature, barchetta meaning a little boat, and it's a standard welt pocket. On the sides you have patch pockets to add to that casual look. Sleeves, going with that natural shoulder, kind of short sleevey. There's a little bit of crimping, but it's not extreme, which you might find in some Italian or Neapolitan cuts. So there's Suitsupply. The sleeves aren't too short here, I think. I haven't had this altered, but they do tend to be shorter in that area, as well as being short in terms of total length. I don't know. It looks like it's covering the seat here, so this is not too bad. But in some of their models, particularly recently, some of the Havana sport coats that I've tried, they've been a bit short overall and a bit tight in the 38. However, if I do go to the 40, I find that the fit is not exactly right either. So kind of in between the two. And probably made to order or made to measure would be best suited for me if I did buy their fits. Before I take this off, you can see as well there's some inner pockets. They have a top pocket and a full bottom pocket here on the left side, which I really like. Put the phone in there, a wallet. And then on this side, they have a third pocket with a button that you can close up. So I do like the options of internal pockets with Suitsupply. Let's take a look at Spier Mackay. And wanted to kind of compare apples and apples, but I am wearing the Neapolitan cut, which is a bit different. But I will say that that is one of the appeals of Spier Mackay, is that they have a Neapolitan cut available. With Suitsupply, they essentially are now doing all of their sport coats in the Havana. And there's some variants where you can get a patch pocket or different sorts of features, options off the rack. But for the most part, what you saw earlier, the standard 2-button is their Havana style. With Spier Mackay, however, you can get Neapolitan fits as well as their standard. And they're in the spring and summer of 2021, there are actually 14 different Neapolitan jackets available. So it's not just like there are 1 or 2 offered, but they're offering a whole range of those in addition to their standard cuts. And perhaps there may be even more Neapolitan cuts than there are, or Neapolitan styled sport coats than there are in their standard fit. Neapolitan probably also their most popular model, and that's why I'm wearing it here to kind of do the comparison of the standard or most popular Suitsupply version and Suitsupply sport coat and the most popular at Spier Mackay. So as you can see there, a little bit longer, I think you can tell, and especially in the side-by-side comparison, which is coming up. It is a 3-button, a 3-roll 2, sometimes called a 2.5, where the top button, the third button, is pressed or folded under the lapels. This gives the lapel, the V of the lapel, it gives it a deeper V, and the buttoning point is a little bit lower. Here's my natural waist again. Here's the buttoning point. I believe it's slightly lower than the Suitsupply. The lapels also have a nice curve because of the rolled 3-roll 2, the 3-roll 2 construction. You can sort of see that belly or the roll underneath the lapel. See that on this side as well. And that adds a little bit of panache to the look. When you're wearing an off-white linen like this, you definitely want to go for that sort of panache. The quarters, a little bit more open here. I'm wearing high-rise or high-waisted trousers to cover up any sort of shirt gap that would appear between the buttoning point and the trouser top. So if you do go with a Spier Mackay with a little bit of a more open quarters, you probably want to go with your trousers being a little bit higher so that you're not showing this shirt triangle. The buttons on the sleeves are not functional, which may seem like it's not as good as Suitsupply. However, that does facilitate alterations, because if you have a functioning buttons on your sleeves and you need to shorten that or even lengthen it, it can throw off the balance or may even impinge on this first button. So if the buttons aren't functional, you can just pop that off. The tailor can pop it off and move it up here, or you can do 3 buttons or whatever without having to worry about the buttonhole. So it facilitates alterations of sleeve length, and you don't really need functional buttons, really, unless you really want it. In that case, Suitsupply is for you. If you don't care about it, then ready to wear off the rack Spier Mackay will probably be the option. If you think you need to alter and you don't really care about the functionality of the sleeves, then that will be the better choice. The lapels, going back to those, have kind of a straight line to them, and they are a bit wider than the Havana. The notch, or where the gorge is, I think it's slightly lower than the Suitsupply, though it's still fairly high, as would be typical of the Italian style. The sleeves are longer. I haven't had these altered yet, just got it the other day, but I think I find that the sleeves are somewhat longer and almost exactly right, showing about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of sleeve. I'll probably have to just alter them to balance them out, as I have one arm being a little bit longer than the other, or one shoulder being lower than the other, as the case may be. Also a natural shoulder and partially lined. Both of these are also half canvas, I should mention, meaning that there is the canvas piece right around the chest area for both of these. This one has a patch pocket on the chest. Doesn't matter with Spier Mackay. They have different options as well. They have some with a standard welt pocket with the barchetta, the same curve that Suitsupply has. This one has a patch pocket that makes it more casual. Obviously, with the patch pocket, you want to wear this most of the time tieless. To me, if you have the triple patch, 2 on the hips and 1 on the chest, that doesn't go well with being formally dressed in terms of wearing a tie. So I would wear this particular outfit tieless, which is something I've been doing recently. The buttons, again, are not as exciting as the Suitsupply. They're actual horn. The Suitsupply, I don't know if they're made out of plastic or Carrazzo nut or wood or whatever it is, but these are made of genuine horn. They aren't as exciting in the sense of their appearance, but they do offer a nice contrast, and they are natural horn for sure. So I do like that option. The fit is fuller in addition to it being longer, as I said earlier, and the sleeves being longer. This is the 38 Contemporary, so it has a fuller fit on my body, and I like that. You don't see really any pulling here, which is something that I like. If you wanted it to fit more slim, you'd probably go with the 38 Slim, and that's another selling point for Spier Mackay versus Suitsupply, is that you can select off the rack slim versus contemporary. So if you prefer it to fit more slim, or if you're thinner, you can go for the slim fit in whatever size you normally take. And if you want it to fit fuller, sort of ranging toward armory rain jacket style, then you can go for 38 Contemporary or whatever size it is, rather than even having to go up a size. So that is a great option as well. All right, so I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison, and you can see immediately how they stack up and which style or brand you prefer. Right, so there's your comparison. If you like something that gives you more options, such as choosing slim versus contemporary and having a 3-roll 2 construction available with a Neapolitan style, Spier Mackay is your choice, as well as if you need to have the sleeves altered and don't care about having functional cuffs. If you prefer something that fits more fully rather than slim, Spier Mackay can also be an excellent choice. On the other hand, if you like your jackets to be shorter, slimmer fitting, and with shorter sleeves, then Suitsupply is your choice, as well as if you like to have something that looks more like a traditional middle-of-the-road sport coat that you can pick up immediately and wear. Like the video if you found the comparison to be useful, and follow us at the Gentleman Scholars Club for more brand comparisons, style tips, and information on classic menswear. Thanks for watching.